I've been going to the sauna my entire life, even since I was a kid. I mean, my parents used to bring me there, used to drag me there. I didn't really like it as a kid, but I grew up doing that, and I wanted to teach you guys the basics of the sauna, because these days it's become very, very popular, and that's great to see. It's a really good thing for you. It's very beneficial for health, of course, but so many people lack the knowledge on what is a sauna, how to go there, what do you bring inside, what's the etiquette like. So what's going to happen right now is you're going to be informed on how to use the sauna correctly. These are just the basics. Sauna 101. I'm not going to go into details on the benefits and the chemistry and all of that scientific stuff. I'm just going to talk about the basics. I see a lot of people go there, the younger guys, the older guys, and this will help you navigate and be a little bit more confident and not look like a complete retard in front of the people who have actually been going to the sauna for a while and know how to handle themselves. So first off, before you even go into the sauna, understand when is the right time to go. Most people go when they're at the gym, which is a really good time to do it. Don't go before your workout, instead go after your workout. You don't want to exhaust yourself before the actual workout. Sauna is basically a form of cardio. You might not be moving your body, but your heart is working. And a lot of people seem to forget that. Now the next thing, when you finish your workout and you decide you're going to go to the sauna right now, consider this. What are you going to wear? This is absolutely insane. The amount of people I see that walk in there in their gym clothes, I'm talking wearing gym shoes, wearing pants, shorts, t-shirts, basically their entire outfit. What the fuck? Why? You do understand that you're gonna get all of that shit drenched in sweat. And you're gonna be uncomfortable the entire time that you're there. Not only that, if you don't care about that, have some respect for the rest of the people. Don't bring your dirty ass shoes in there. When you get up on the bench, you sit down, you put your shoes on the bench that people sit on. I mean, my feet go there. I don't wanna feel the rocks left behind from your shoes. So here's what you do. The most easiest and basic thing that you can wear is a towel and maybe some flip-flops or slides, whatever you want to call it. You don't even need to bring your swimming shorts, swimsuits. None of that is necessary. If you wear that, you're going to be looked at like a boy. That means you take everything off. Yes, including your tight underwear. And if it's not tight, great. We don't want that stinking up the entire room. It's probably sweaty and smells like ammonia. You take everything off, you get a clean towel, you wrap it around your waist, tie it, whatever you want to do, and you walk inside and you sit down on the towel. If you're someone who's prone to foot fungus, diseases, whatever, wear some flip-flops. I personally don't care too much. I never get anything. I just walk in with my bare foot all the time. But when you do climb the bench, take them off. Leave the flip-flops on the floor. Now that you're dressed for the sauna, you're going to be comfortable in there. You're going to be in your own body, not wearing anything, just the bare minimum. And the reason being for all of this is that you should maintain a level of hygiene. So don't walk in there with your dirty clothes, but also don't go in there completely naked. I know some old men go in there naked completely. And yes, in some countries that's normal, that's what you do. But who wants to sit on the wet spot left behind an old man's ballsack? Let's be real here. We don't want that. Wearing a towel makes it so that it absorbs all of your sweat. It might still leave some wet spot, whatever, it's gonna evaporate. And lastly, if you're really drenched and sweaty after the gym, you should probably rinse off before going into the sauna. So now that you're comfortable in your own body and wearing just a bare towel, what do you bring into the sauna? What items? First thing is, you can bring a water bottle. You don't have to, You can always exit, drink some water, and come back in. But you can. It should be metal. Don't take plastic bottles for obvious reasons. You don't want to be drinking plastic. It's literally hot in there. Now here's where it gets absolutely retarded. It's not about what you bring into the sauna, it's about what you leave. Do not bring your fucking phone into the sauna. No phone, no headphones, none of that garbage. This is not a place for you to go and be on your phone. A sauna is a form of spa. It's a form of body treatment. It's a form of relaxation. It's a form of recovery. This is not some task that you want to get done and you want to do it while scrolling your phone, while listening to music, watching a movie, or the worst of them all, talking on the phone. That's the stupidest shit I've seen. This is becoming a more and more common occurrence. Just 1 year ago, I would see a rare phone in the sauna. Some kid brought it in. These days, everybody brings it in. I'm the weird one who sits there just looking at my knees or looking at the wall. I mean, have you guys lost it? This is the perfect opportunity to be in there with your own thoughts, to not have something to be distracted by, to sit there and not only let your body be at peace and relaxed, but also your mind. What is the point of going in there and continuing your bad habits? Even music. Why? Just listen to the crackling of the stones, of the hot iron expanding. I promise you, you're gonna feel so much better after, not just in your body, but in the head, if you do all your sauna sessions without the phone. For some people, this will be the only time of day they separate themselves from the phone, other than sleep. Some of you guys might say that I need my phone because it distracts me, because it's really hot and I'm trying to sit there for 15 minutes. So if I watch something or scroll, it makes the time go by faster. I get that. That still does not make it okay. Think about this. The goal is not to try to avoid the heat. It's not to try to get in there, get all the benefits, but not be present. The goal is to be present, to feel it. You have to feel every moment. Feel the heat. Don't be afraid of it. You're not supposed to be scared of it. Welcome it instead. Go in there with the mindset that you're welcoming the heat. Tell yourself that you want more. You wish it was hotter. Don't be scared of it. Speaking of heat, I am burning up in here. All right. If some of you guys are struggling to stay in there for a long enough time and it feels like time is passing very slow, here's what I do. Of course, while visually I might be looking in the same spot, but in my mind, it's a whole different world. So once per week, I sit there and I go over everything that I've accomplished that week and everything that I need to accomplish next week. So this is usually done on a Saturday. And all those things, I break them down into different categories, whether it's health related, gains, business, relationships. I break all of that down and I go over one by one. That's just basic goal setting. Another thing that I do a lot of the time, or that I think about, is I just visualize my goals. I visualize the life I want to be living. And I go very, very far with that. I fully submerge myself into it. I'm not going to go into too much detail for that. That's another topic. But generally, if you just sit there and feel everything, you're going to have a much stronger impact on your mind as well as your body. So now that you're properly dressed for the sauna, you have your bottle of water with you, you're ready to go inside. When you go inside, this is how you enter and exit the sauna. This is very important, so listen closely. If you're with people, you wait until everybody is ready to go in at the same time. You don't tug the door back and forth. Now, if you're by yourself, you open the door just enough for you to sidestep into it. Here's the door and you're standing where the door opens. You open it, step in, and close it behind you. A lot of you are unaware on what a big impact it makes when the door opens. If there are people sitting inside, you've just now taken a bunch of heat out. And it takes a while to build up the heat. Think about this. As soon as you open the door, the hot air escapes and the cold air enters extremely fast. Think of how large a door is and how small the room of the sauna is. If you open it all the way, in like 2 seconds, it's cold in the sauna. Always keep in mind, the door must be closed, and if it's opened for a very brief gap and for a short amount of time. Make sure you do it this way so you don't look like a fool, and instead you're going to look like a professional. You're going to look like a literal expert. If a person who sits inside, who knows what they're doing, watches you enter like a ninja and go inside and close the door behind you, they're going to have so much respect for you. How do I know that? I'm the guy sitting inside, watching people come in. And the people that come in respectfully are automatically respected. Just today, I was sitting there by myself and the shit show started. I see one guy come up to the door, open it and close it. He didn't even go inside. He just opened it and let it go. A minute later, he opens it and goes in there with the kid. About 5 seconds later, another one of his friends walks in. So in a span of about a minute, they just let out all the heat. Tugging it, walking in, opening all the way, and having multiple people go in and out at the same time. Sometimes, of course, you can't prevent that if the people don't know each other. They just happen to go in roughly at the same time. But if it's a group of people and they all walk in individually, it's just pointless. I sat there looking at them like they're clowns. And fair enough, some people are unaware of this, but now you know. When you're exiting the sauna, you do it the exact same way. You open it just enough for you to sidestep out of it. You don't open the door and walk straight. You open it slightly and walk to the side. And then close it behind you. I'm telling you, you're going to have so much respect from all the people, especially the men who sit there and they know what they're doing. So now that you're in the sauna, how long do you stay there for? I know you can go online and read so many different opinions. You can sit there for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25. You can see all of that. But here's what they're not going to tell you. Every person starts at a different level. So that means even if the desired time in the sauna is 15 minutes, if you've never went, you're not going to sit there for 15 minutes. That's going to do more harm. Each person has their own threshold and tolerance. You need to consider a few things. First off, you're starting out. Are you overweight? You just started on the journey. And when I mean overweight, I'm not just talking fat. I'm talking if you're a huge guy, muscular, but you also don't do cardio, for example. It's still going to be very difficult for you to sit there. Basically, the time you can sit there is proportional to your level of cardio, to the size of your body, and how adapted you are to this level of heat in general. If you and your friend decide to go to the sauna for the first time together and decide to sit there for 15 minutes, your fat friend is gonna die in there by the time it's 15 minutes. And you might be a small, skinny guy, the exact opposite, but you have the advantage. Your heart finds it way easier to pump blood and cool down your body and sweat than someone who's overweight. But once you start, of course, improving your physical fitness is going to help you stay there longer, improving your cardio and reducing fat. But the biggest factor that's going to set you apart is how many times have you been to the sauna? How adapted are you? Have you been doing it for 5 months or 5 years? So just make sure you go consistently, and you're eventually going to raise your tolerance regardless. And the heat is not going to feel so hot anymore. Now, most saunas that are available at gyms, they're 70 to 90 degrees Celsius, and they're not very humid, so it's not that crazy. So the best way to determine how long you want to sit there for is, one, don't compete with the other person if their physiology is completely different from you. Of course, if you and your buddy are on a similar level, great, yeah, encourage each other to go longer if you can only sit there for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you guys want to go for 20 minutes, for sure. But don't compete with the old guy who's been doing this for 40 years. Don't compete with people like me who's been doing this since childhood. I can sit in there who knows how long. I don't count the time. I sit there until I feel my body has reached a good level by the way I feel. This even happened today. I was sitting in the sauna, one guy walks in, and he's around my age, from what it looks like, and he sits there, and I can see it's been 20, 25 minutes at this point, and usually most people don't stay in there for that long, and this guy is struggling. I can see he's looking at me and trying to see when I'm gonna leave, because there's no way he's leaving before me, because I've been there longer already. That's embarrassing for him, but it shouldn't be. He has no idea I've been doing this my entire life. I sat there calmly while he was shaking back and forth, drinking water, spilling water on himself, and then he ran out of water, so he had to leave. And I continued sitting there. Eventually, as you become more experienced, you're gonna feel at which point your body has had enough. There's a sweet spot. And for those of you that know, it's somewhere around the time before your head starts pulsing. At least for me, I start feeling my head start pulsing, and it starts feeling heavier. And for me, it's about 40 minutes in. But usually, I like to cut down the sessions to 20, 25 minutes and just do multiples of them. Because if you sit to the point where your head starts pulsating, you're going to have a headache that evening, most likely. And you just raised your cortisol levels for no reason. It's counterproductive to what you want to achieve. Damn it, this is like sauna number 2. I don't know if you can see if you can see all the sweat on my arm. It feels like I'm gonna have to shower again. But anyway, the last thing I want to talk about is something that a lot of people get very, very fucked up on. Putting water on the rocks. This is the biggest bullshit ever. So there are always signs in the saunas that say do not put water on rocks. But usually nobody follows that. People still put water on it. And I'm not here to tell you to not do that. I myself love it when you increase the humidity so that it feels hotter. But there's a way you do it. The reason those signs are up there is because people who have no idea what they're doing damage the sauna. They damage the heating element. And then it has to go into construction, and a month later it's fixed. The type of sauna used in gyms is an electric sauna. That means there's a heating element under the rocks. And when you put water on it, a lot of water, like you just, not just splash it, but water doesn't evaporate from the rocks fast enough, and some of it leaks down onto the element, and that's why it also smells burnt. When you're putting water on rocks, it's not supposed to smell like something's burning. That's what damages the sauna. And you're sitting there smelling this disgusting carcinogenic fumes. You don't want that. If you want to heat the sauna more, what you do is sprinkle a little bit at a time. Get a bottle with a tiny nozzle that you can squeeze and have it evenly spread out. Spray all the rocks. Make sure it's evaporating. And if you've just done it, give it enough time for the rocks to heat up again. Otherwise, there's no point. You don't want the water leaking down. That's not going to ruin the smell of the sauna, and it's not going to damage it. And another thing you can do is, it works very similarly. Spray the area around the rocks, it's usually next to a wall. So spray the wall above it, because that's the next hottest spot. And the ceiling above it. You could even spray the thermometer to make it think it's colder, so it's going to naturally turn it on and make it hotter. Because I know a lot of those sensors, they don't even heat the sauna to where it's supposed to. For example, the limit is 90, but it only ever gets to like 72. So when you spray the sensor, it reduces the temperature it's perceiving and makes it heat up more. But spraying some on the rocks and around the area where the rocks are, that's the hottest area. That's going to cause it to evaporate and increase the humidity. Don't be the dumbass that just sprays it over everything and it leaks into the bottom and it starts smelling like shit, and now the heating element has to be replaced. That sucks. And why this is so brutal is because people just learn from other people. One guy is doing that and it's made it hotter, so then you learned that and you also do that. And you never actually learned what's going on and how it works. You just do it because the first monkey did it, so now you're doing it. You should always know the ins and outs of your actions and the consequences. Don't just do it because someone else did it and you copied them. Maybe they know how to do it. So there you have it. These are the sauna basics. If you do this, you'll be much more respected by the people who also go to the sauna on a consistent basis, and you'll gain more out of it, more benefits, and it's going to be a better experience overall. Let's start making people know how to use a sauna. See you in the next one.